I never thought I'd end up on Reddit begging strangers for perspective. But here we are. Call me M. I'm 29, female, stubborn, and the black sheep of a family so shiny it reflects its own glare. This is long, but every sentence matters, because I've spent 6 years learning that omissions are just polite lies. The gilded cage picture. Manicured lawns that look photoshopped in real life. Picture a neighborhood that mails you a warning if your hydrangeas bloom the wrong shade of blue. Dad owns Rankin Logistics, a regional shipping empire draped in greenwashed marketing. Mom stages charity galas that airbrush the diesel fumes. Carter, my older brother, was groomed to inherit the throne. When I was 16, a soccer coach was told my sprained ankle didn't fit the family brand. At 17, I tried rebellion by enrolling in a state university. Dad installed a tuition chokehold, so I transferred back to the private college with our name on the library. By 23, I was interning in Rankin's Tower, learning to pitch cost-effective human capital solutions while pretending not to see the ambulances outside the warehouses, until Daniel Foster queued behind me at a coffee truck. Meeting Daniel stacked pallets on the night shift because management cut daytime hours to dodge overtime. He smelled like corrugated cardboard and eucalyptus cough drops. We both ordered drip with extra espresso. We met there again 2 nights later on purpose and again after that by design. We dated in secret for 4 months. Plywood break rooms, secondhand bookstores, one bowling alley whose neon lights made my teeth glow radioactive. It was embarrassingly wholesome, and for the first time I felt like more than a resume bullet. Thanksgiving cracked the facade. Carter cornered me, Dad hired a PI, and Daniel was summoned to a corner office. Without looking up, Dad slid an envelope across the desk. $10,000 to leave me. Daniel passed it back, said, "Your daughter's not a commodity," and walked out. Security later told me the footage became training video blooper gold. Exile and elopement. Christmas dinner became a hostage negotiation. Mom recited verses about being equally yoked. Dad threatened my car allowance. I left early, texted Daniel, and 3 hours later we were driving to Vegas in his rust-spotted Civic singing off-key. Our wedding was a municipal hallway that smelled like copier toner. Vows, 2 stainless steel rings, relief so bright it felt like daylight. I posted a selfie. Within an hour I was locked out of every family email chain and the platinum Amex I never used. Legal sent a 1-page notice. Marry Daniel. Forfeit the family trust. I signed, mailed it back, and felt lighter than I had since childhood. Starting from less than 0. We couch surfed, then upgraded to a 2-bed walk-up above a bakery that needs dough at 4 a.m. Daniel pulled doubles on forklifts. I freelanced UX wireframes for startups that paid in net 45 checks. Our budget lived on a whiteboard. Rent, food, tire fund, someday vacation fund that got erased for dentist bills. One winter, the heater died. We wore layers and cooked risotto on repeat because rice is cheap, but feels fancy if you stir long enough. Learning to be ordinary. People romanticize starting over as if it's a motivational poster. But there's nothing cinematic about losing cell service because you forgot to pay the bill. I discovered that EBT readers at farmers markets produce budgets like magic. Daniel learned to patch bike tires because the Civic's engine light mocked us daily. We tag-teamed laundromat trips and celebrated every bill paid on time like a national holiday. The car that almost broke us one October night, the Civic's timing belt snapped on a dark service road. We spent 3 hours in a gas station booth, calculating whether to fix or scrap it. The mechanic's $1,200 if nothing else is wrong felt like a meteor strike. We pulled the next month's grocery budget, canceled streaming subs, and hitchhiked to work for a week. It wasn't inspiring, it was survival. But it proved we could bleed without emptying out. The union that almost happened that winter, Daniel and co-workers met at a neon-lit diner to talk unionizing. They passed greasy napkins covered in acronyms and fear. The petition never materialized. Threats of retaliation worked. But that table became the nucleus for the data tracking project I'd soon build. The injury that lit the fuse. 2 years in, COVID hit. Corporate staff went remote. Warehouse workers got flimsy masks. One July night, a pallet slipped. Daniel tried to catch it. 17 stitches. PTO evaporated, and he limped back because medical bills don't respect downtime. Watching him hobble flipped a lever in my brain. I spun up Injure Ledger, an anonymous incident tracker disguised as a gamified wellness survey. Workers logged heat stroke, fractures, near misses. Each report earned an avatar badge redeemable for nothing except solidarity. Within weeks, the map glowed red. Operation Deep Palette, enter Maya Chen, investigative journalist. I messaged her an encrypted link. You don't know me, but people are bleeding. We vetted each other over Signal. She dubbed me Deep Palette. For 4 months, we dumpster dove for HR memos, recalibration logs, and a PowerPoint frankly titled Margin Preservation Strategies. A disgruntled IT tech slipped us root access to a shadow server. We hashed everything and stored duplicates in 3 cloud regions. Public detonation, Maya's article dropped August 14, 2023. 8,000 words, 3 charts, a header photo of an endless aisle. Dad's name appeared in sentence 1. Carter's quote, "We treat our workforce like family," sat under an amputation graph. Rankin stock fell 18%. Mom's Gala lost its sponsor. Trolls called me a traitor, and whistleblowers called me sister. Corporate counterattack. After Maya's first article, Rankin's crisis PR team launched ads showing grinning workers in spotless break rooms that don't exist. They opened a so-called well-being hotline staffed by temps reading cue cards. Daniel called. After 17 minutes on hold, the rep suggested he seek opportunities elsewhere. Morale dropped while quotas stayed. Pregnancy and the doorstep parade. Life loves irony. 2 weeks after the article, the pea stick turned pink. We kept quiet, but Instagram smelled it. At 12 weeks, I posted a cropped sonogram. 43 minutes later, Carter texted, "Dad's ready to revisit the trust if you come home." I told him I was already home and blocked the number. Packages arrived. A stroller worth more than our car, a cashmere layette, a silver rattle engraved with the crest. Tags read forgiveness. We stacked them unopened. I filmed unboxings only to tape the boxes shut again. Grandparent Gate 2.0. Blocking my parents didn't stop them. An estranged aunt invited me to a relaxed brunch. 2 attorneys and a brand strategist waited behind the mimosas. I walked out before the eggs arrived. That night, a law firm threatened to pursue grandparents' visitation rights. In our state, you need an existing relationship. I replied with a PDF of the statute and the words, "See you never." Face-to-face, mid-October, 3rd trimester. Daniel at work. My ankles ballooned. Doorbell buzzed. Intercom showed Mom, Dad, Carter, and their lawyer. I opened the lobby door, but left the apartment chained. They climbed, sweating. Dad said, "We've reflected." The lawyer waved a college fund trust. I let them monologue, then said, "Leave everything on the doormat and never contact us again." I shut the door. The chain echoed like applause. We dragged the gifts to the curb with a sign, Free to good home. The stroller vanished in 5 minutes. The heist regulators were slow. Maya needed a smoking gun. Daniel mentioned heat sensor servers calibrated wrong on purpose. On-site only. I was 33 weeks pregnant. Sunday, 11:57 p.m. Daniel distracted security with a phantom pallet discrepancy. I waddled in with a supermarket cake. No one questions cake. The server closet was a metal coffin. I copied logs to a USB shaped like a panda and waddled out. Cameras caught only a very pregnant woman stealing company time at 0.25 mph. Detonation, Part 2. Maya published the sensor data. OSHA launched surprise inspections. Class action firms aired commercials. Injured at a Rankin facility? Plaintiffs lined sidewalks like Black Friday. Dad called from unknown. I let it ring. Voicemail. Please stop before you destroy everything. Saved. Inside the depositions. Depositions are reality TV with worse lighting. Beige room, burnt coffee. People paid $600 an hour to fake neutrality. A Rankin attorney opened with, "Kiddo, we admire your entrepreneurial spirit," then accused me of espionage. I answered in monotone while Nora slept in a sling. The stenographer, herself a working mom, smiled for the first and only time. Jury consultants later admitted Americans like babies more than CEOs. Stories that haunt mediation introduced me to Rosa, who broke her wrist catching a falling box because safety gloves were back-ordered, and Tyrell, a temp who finished a shift with a concussion because supervisors offered bonuses for beating quota. Listening reset my goal. Revenge wasn't about shoving gifts back. It was about building something better in the crater, where the money went. Daniel and I received a modest whistleblower award, enough for a down payment and a dream. We founded the Foster Rankin Truth Scholarship. I insisted both surnames stay to irritate Dad. It funds OSHA certifications, forklift licenses, and community college logistics programs for anyone with 6 months in a warehouse. Rosa's wrist healed. She's in cohort 1. Tyrell is learning coding for supply chain software. Sometimes the universe bends if enough ordinary people shove. Nora arrives, and so do the wrecking balls. January 9th, 2024. Nora Foster arrived after 19 hours that felt like eternity compressed into shards. 7 pounds, lungs like opera. Daniel cut the cord he'd earned 10 times over. I posted one photo, her fist gripping his finger, captioned "Daughter of a Warehouse Supervisor." A new account begged for one chance to make things right. Blocked. Rankin settled. $87 million across 8 states, mandatory heat controls, paid medical monitoring for 10 years, third-party audits. Dad retired to focus on family. Mom's charity rebranded. Carter pivoted to fintech preaching authentic leadership. Daniel became warehouse supervisor with a salary that terrified him in a good way. We bought a modest house near a park where delivery trucks rumble like distant applause. Last attempt at control. A certified letter arrived. The trust documents amended to give everything to Nora on one condition. She must carry the Rankin surname. I laughed so hard I woke the baby, brewed coffee, poured it over the paperwork, and watched the ink dissolve. I'm typing this as Nora dozes, making squeaky dinosaur noises. I used to think revenge required fireballs. Turns out it's quieter. A closed door, a USB drive, a baby's surname. Dad, Mom, Carter, if you're doom scrolling, love isn't a stock you can buy after the market closes. Nora will learn that integrity outranks pedigree, and that a forklift driver who chooses decency is worth more than any trust fund. Daniel just texted a video of her laughing for the first time. And that sound is a dividend your lavish gifts will never pay.